What's up, guys? Hope you had a good weekend. We are going to go over the markets and what we're looking for into the end of October. And let's start with SPY. So, looking at SPY, you can see here off of this minor swing right here, we keep projecting off the 786, which is kind of that breakout area that we like to pay attention to. We did get up to that 100% mark. We gapped up above it. Couldn't make it to that 1272, but now that's what we're looking at. And so I think something that might be a little more relevant is paying attention to this swing high to this swing low. And you can see there's that rejection area. So that 786 is going to be pretty critical going into this week. And we are trading around the 1272 of the previous major swing high to swing low. So you can see here we kind of moved level. Once we got a squeeze, we broke out, hit that 100% retracement mark. And then from there, basically, once we got above it, formed another squeeze and then moved higher into the 1272. So what's probably going to happen now is we're going to wait for a squeeze, and that's going to give us our next directional setup. I think the main piece is we have to pay attention to the weekly time frame and see when the momentum of this squeeze from the weekly starts to turn over. Um, it has fired to the upside, but the DIA is looking a little tired. You can see here we're probably going to get a reversion to the mean at this point. Momentum has shifted to the downside. We've had this bearish engulfing candle. So things like industrials and XLF do not look that great in terms of continued upside. They've met their targets. Speaking for DIA as well, it's met its targets, the 1618. It's met the target. So now it seems like, okay, now we're probably going to pull back. So, and which is what we're doing. So I would expect here, maybe we chop around, form squeeze, and then we get a pull back to the 21 EMA. Now, on the weekly chart, sorry. So pull back to the weekly 21 EMA, probably around 412-ish, 410, right around that area is likely where we're headed for DIA. Might not happen immediately, but I think that we could chop around and pull back there. Now, the next thing is it's a little weird because if you've been taking the classes with the sector, decoding the sectors, you know that the SPY kind of moves off of QQQ and DIA. So one of the things we have to pay attention to is QQQ doesn't look bad. So it's rejecting off the 500 level. It's getting a buy signal, but the daily, that daily candle just doesn't look too exciting, right? But we also have SMH, which is setting up in a squeeze, XLK, which is setting up in a squeeze. Um, and so, yeah, so we've got all of those pieces and we're just under the highs, similar to QQQ. We are right under the high at that 503 area. So I'm looking for, can we make it up into that 503 spot? And then if we can get above that $500 area, and let's see if we can make a new high. But right now, those sectors within QQQ are looking bullish, but DIA is looking bearish. So now it's kind of making it, we're kind of in limbo for SPY. So really, it's a matter of kind of over under game of that 21 EMA on QQQ or SPY. So look for direction based on how SPY or sorry, QQQ is acting, because if QQQ falls apart, then that's going to be bearish for the entire market, but also the fact that DIA is starting to fall apart and has had two two daily closes under its 21 EMA. We need to start being a little cautious to the long side for DIA sectors such as XLI and XLF. And then now for some stocks that are setting up currently. We've got this one, AB, AMBA. I don't know too much about the company, but it seems that we're getting a 4 hour signal. Check the 195 minute. Okay, so momentum's starting to shift. So we might be getting we're getting momentum shifting to the upside. We're kind of flagging here. We've got earnings at the end of next month. We could look for continuation to the upside. You can see here the 618 is probably that breakout level. So we want to pay attention to that. We get above that 618, we can go revisit this previous high. So let's pay attention to that. Pretty solid looking chart, just needed above the 618 as per usual. Costco, little choppy chart. I think the main setup is off the weekly. So we want to pay attention to that weekly squeeze, pay attention to the 3 day, pay attention to the 2 day, and then see if we get some sort of buy signal for a run in earnings. I would like to play the run in earnings because you can see if we go to the daily chart, historically, we've seen a run in earnings, a run in earnings, a run in earnings, and a run in earnings. So I'm kind of looking for a similar pattern on Costco, and their earnings is in December. So, and then CRM, nothing too much here to look for. I think we're going to go to that 786 and that $300 level. We've got a 4 hour squeeze. This will kind of be dependent on the market. The trend is up, and it looks pretty solid for a pop up into 300. I think that is a pretty solid opportunity going into this week, so we'll keep an eye on that. VRTX, this one broke its previous high. It's trading at all-time highs. It's getting an early entry signal, trading above the 618. So I think that it's pretty likely we can head up into 120. So I think this is a really good looking setup, probably the best one out of the ones we've looked at so far. Then the daily IoT, I don't see too much here. IYR, you can see we're rejecting right off that 618. So that's always something you kind of want to pay attention to. That 618 level is a huge over under level. Um, Pretty similar story here with DE rejected right off. We tried to get above the 618 and failed and sold off, but it does have a good looking daily squeeze. TQQQ, this is the same as QQQ, NDX, same thing. Really what we're looking for is NDX is trading above that key 20,000 level, and that's the 786. This has been a massive level as of recently. You can see that's where we bounced and had a nice move up. So we have to be cautious or paying attention to that because right now the path of least resistance for QQQ is to the upside. It's just a matter of how we're going to make our way there. So just pay attention to this. The main level is QQQ 500, but as long as we stay above that 786, which is 20,000 on the NDX, we have to remain pretty bullish. And then ADI, trying to print a slingshot signal. It worked out well over here right now. We have to get over that level for us to be in a bullish stance or move higher. So right now we're just looking at this and it's like, okay, we keep rejecting. We've rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. That's the level, the big breakout level for this to make a new high. ARC, this similar story, huge level here. You can see it was support, resistance, 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 and is acting as resistance right now, but we've got buy signals. So I'd be interested in playing this above this level right here and looking for calls above that level. So other names that are kind of standing out to me right now, CART. This is one we're currently in. We trimmed at 35 or 30% once we came up to that previous high. And so what I'm looking for is can we make it up into 45.50? We had buy signals and we got in on this candle right here at the 618 support. And we got a nice gap up into resistance. And so we trimmed there and now we're looking for the squeeze to fire off to the upside. You can already see that compression is starting to release. So we went from a red to black dot squeeze. And so I'm looking for a continuation in that squeeze to fire long and potentially run into earnings. It's trading over its previous high, well above it. Well, previous high being this here, the IPO high. So I'm looking for continuation. And this is off the back of a weekly squeeze that is firing. So we should have a few more bars of momentum in it. Just taking a quick look at the top ones in the market. We don't have a setup on this one. We've got a 4 hour squeeze. So, oh wait. Yeah, we got a 4 hour squeeze, but right now it's not setting up bullishly. Uh, this one, Autodesk, looks really good. I have not looked at this chart yet, but you can see the last squeeze here gave us a move to the upside, and then now you can see we're trading and holding that 21 EMA. Only a couple dots in on the squeeze, but we want to keep an eye on that. APP, this was on the watch list last week. That one had a huge move already. Nothing to do with this one, it looks like. And then BX, wait for a squeeze on this one, and I think we can look for continuation of the upside, but this one looks really good too. And then you got Cart, Kava, it's got a squeeze. This is going to need some time, but those are kind of the top names in the market. Cisco, top name. Carvana, a top name, has got a 4 hours or 195-minute squeeze, has yet to fire off. And then Dash, similar story. So um, looks like consumer discretionary is kind of taking the leaderboard as of recently. But all right, guys, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have questions. Our 30% off sale for the indicator, the membership, and all that good stuff will be linked below. It's 30% off and it ends next weekend. Let me know if you have any questions and hope to see you in the chat.